the promise, the promise was from God that if we only open our mouth, He will place the words in our mouth. But we should not have any fears to open our mouth. If we believe in a God and have faith that God place His words in our mouth, we should do it and not think about what if we fail as a person, or that we say something wrong and it's against what people believe in or think. These things. It's not about us. It's about God want to talk. And that I didn't know what to say in the beginning here, but I ask God. I always pray and talk to God before I start to send here. And I ask Him, how should I start this live broadcasting? And He'd say to me, start to tell them that the promise is that if you only open your mouth, I will place my words on your tongue. He said that I should start, so I did it. And this, I knew that some sort of topic for this live broadcasting, and it's so very, very, very hard. It's so sad. It's a time of tribulation for the preacher and those in the pulpit, those on the altar, that the whole their whole world is shaking. It's coming an earthquake for them. It's shaking, and then suddenly they start to talk to me. They have not talked to me for 10 years. So I started Facebook 2007, and there is some preachers that have not talked to me all this time. But now is it something God is doing, because suddenly they try to get someone else to help them in their time of need. It's so many things that God have told me and shown me in visions and talk about for some years now, and most everything was waiting for this time. These visions I have, when you can go back, there is videos where I'm telling about the vision God had given me. And now we are in this time when the vision about those proud men in their black suit and white shirt and tie and all this look so successful. They look successful, and they have many titles, and they standing there together with me, and in the upper room it was an old oak, like stair layers, on layers. So it was where we step up in our education, in the spirit education. And I was the only woman there standing there. And those men, they were looking at each other, and they thought they were so good. And they were so proud. And they look at each other. And I was there, and and suddenly we heard it open up like a ceiling. It's up a hole, and where it come a voice, a big voice, and that voice I remember from year 2000 when God was speaking to me, and that voice was there, and I feel so humble, so I go down and try to hide my face before God, and I'm not worthy to be here. But those other men are standing there and be so proud and look at each other. And suddenly the floor open up and they fall. They fall down to the ground from the start, where it started. And I was thinking that's next time is it me that had. It was like pieces of the layers. They fall, and then I was the only one standing there, and I couldn't look. I bowed down and tried to hide, but I was still standing there. I never fall, and it's this time we are in, those proud men, and that they didn't look at me. I was nothing to them, to the men, because I was a woman. Or else they have placed me in this group. But as I was a woman, I was nothing. And that I was the only one that was there in the end also. And we have come into that time when all those proud men suddenly start to fall. They have not the foundation. They are not anointed by God. They are anointed by men. And now they don't have anything to stand on. They have no rock to stand on. They stand on sand. And I feel so sorry for them, because they have lived in this bubble of proud and be together, men be together with men, and say that women can't preach, and if they are not married to a man, a woman cannot open up a church and standing there and preach by her own. She had to go through the man. And now, isn't it so? It is not that time. It is a different time now. And they talking about that everything changed in the world, but it changed also in the church. And that have been for many years that this the pole is going to change. The north be like south, and south like north. And that you that have followed me and read what I have heard from God is that it will come a time when good is bad and bad is good, and we are in that. And then those proud and those leaders that think that this is how the world is, my belief is like this, I know everything. And then suddenly they see that it's shaking up. God shaking them up. That is, it wasn't that you heard from a child. You heard it from your parents, what they told you to believe in, and what the church told you to believe in. And then they fall. Some of the pastor, those leaders, they have died now. Suddenly many die. And then my own daughter is in the church. And I have asked her this question because she have lived with them 14 years or something like that, and that's the only thing she know. That church, she worked for them and she lived with them, and the only thing she had. And I said to her, I asked her, but if the pastor couple is not there anymore, they love to be in Texas. So think if the pastor is leaving the church and take everything, the money and everything to Texas and leave you here. Where are you standing? How can you start over your life when everything you had and believed in is gone? That's a question. That's a question for you. What do you have? If the not that the pastor die, but if they close everything because of what? Maybe money, that the money is not coming in. And they close your church that you have since you were a child. You were going there with your parents and you have all your relatives there in the church. You have your little group there uh, that that you believed in and had as a security, and then suddenly it's gone. Where can you stand by yourself? Can you start over and say that what the pastor was preaching about, something was wrong there, because if God support that church, that should not be a question about money. You know, I have been 3 times, for example, to Israel, and I don't have any money, but I have faith. And God have given me money in His special way to do it, so I could travel. If God support you, if God support your church, then you get the money in some ways. There is 3 ways to give, and there is like for 2 or 3 days ago I was watching a new channel on television, and it was about Thailand, and it was in the most poor area in Manila, and there was a fire and everything burned down. And but these people, they started over again and built up everything. They tried to find pieces in that burned belongings to see if they can use it to build up a house again. And people helped them. It's called people and try to find the things to the house. And that's one way to give. Is give of your time and give of your that they try to find things for them. And then it's not only about money. It can come an opening where the people need you, and then when they get the needs they had, and then suddenly they have something for you that you maybe need for the church, and they give you that. They don't give money, but they give you something for the church. And these things, it's a supernatural things also going on in people, that it's not God giving from him, it's that he is sending people to help you. And you should not, that's the devil thing is to stress you, so you don't see those help God is sending to you. You maybe think that that person that want to help you have nothing. They have nothing to could help you with. But you don't know them. There is other things than money. The devil loves money, but God doesn't love money. God loves more the heart of a person. And the heart of a person is to help each other and come together to build up the church again, or open the church again. And if it's gone, it's gone, and that was not a support from God, or else it had standing there. It had been open, the church. But if they only lay down everything, they have never been into God. They have never been there. They have built the church of their own will, not God's will, their own will. For to be famous, or to get money from, to not need to work in other places, just easy get money to, because those kind of churches, you say they are working hard, but those churches that do this with about money, they help each other. So it's not very hard. They send manuscript to each other how to preach and these things, and they give each other money. Those churches is not of God. Though we struggle, but we're standing. Standing firm is nothing that could divide us. If God have appointed us to do something, the devil can never touch us. We stand up again. We fall, but we stand up again. And the more we fall, the faster we go up again. We learn from the fall. Seldom people learn from standing up, but they learn from fall. And I have someone is coming. Someone is coming here. I don't know what it is, but something is it that start to come in. Who is it? It's a woman. It's a woman with those old clothes they have in Jesus' time. She is looking for something on the ground. And she asked, I think it's Jesus' mother, because she asked, where was he going? And she looked at the ground, and then it's like a cave, a rock, something. And she said, he should have been here, but he's gone. Are you not crying for him? No, she said. She answered me. He knew where he was going, she said. So why do you touch the ground? Why you touch the soil? It where his feet was walking, she said to me. I don't know what question I will ask you, because people never tell me to ask any question of you that is coming forward. Tell them she look up now and she do this. Tell them she do this, that she took care of you as a baby. She was a mother. What is your name? Is it Mary? She do it like I don't understand really what she is doing, because she do like a gold band going on in many circles when I ask her if it's Mary. I know what she is saying with this, to do this. She mean that there have been many mothers for the kids. She say they are vulnerable, they are fragile, and they have a mother on earth, but they have also a mother in heaven. That's what she's doing. Tell me about it. It's hard to get her to talk, because in that time the women didn't talk so much. They were not talking. They were not allowed to talk so much. And someone else is coming also. It's coming someone that is running. And she pointed on that person that is running. And just now he is dark blue. Who is it? Who is it, Mary? The father, she said. Why do he's running then? Why does it he coming here? No, he don't want to come. But he want to be in the picture. Do you have some is she talking about healing now? She said, I come forward, for there is a person that listen now. She said, it's about the motherhood. The motherhood. It's not about the father. It's about the mothers, she said. If you can't lift up your daughter, I only tell exactly what she is saying. It sounds strange, but maybe it's coming more. If you can't lift up your daughter, someone else will do it. Oh, she talking of bad things. That it's a warning. It's a warning that you fail as a mother. So someone pick your daughter up. This is very dangerous for your daughter. It can be a pedophile. Someone is holding your daughter, she said, and touch her as he shouldn't do. You fail as a mother, but there is still time for you to pick it up and pick up your daughter. She is showing me that the daughter is just in her teens, about maybe the youngest is 10, but not older than 13. She's just in that age. So there is it something more you want to say? The silence is going over here, she said. So she means that she have say what she should say. So thank you. Thank you for coming through and tell us these things. It's I'm talking about, I should talk about Jesus, about, I took this with me, this, and because I wanted to show you what I saw when I met Jesus in heaven, when I was hypnotized. I was in hypnosis, and I was up in heaven, and I met Jesus in his 30s. He's in his 30s, and he was wearing this kind of clothes, a little more yellow, was it? I don't know if it's, here is more like this. He had this on him, and then he had this red as a mantle, and he that hypnotized me, he be very happy when I told him how I saw this man in the garden, that was in the garden, in the spirit garden, because that's he is Buddhist, and he's a Zen Buddhist monk, the highest up after Dalai Lama. But then I was dated a man that, for some years ago, I dated a man that was in Hare Krishna people, and it's always this that I, in that moment when I date this man, it was Hare Krishna's birthday, so I was to feast in Copenhagen and also here in Sweden, and they had this color, and it is a meaning in it. It is a meaning in it that, like I say, I have told people that I believe that God has sent a messenger in all the generations. So this with Buddha, it's not I believe in him, but I can believe that he was a messenger from God. But then they maybe went wrong, but they have this color, and it is in many religions. God have sent me to many religions, and there is a meaning of the highest priest to have this color, this red and this orange style, and that. But I knew it was Jesus because he was in the garden, so I knew it was Jesus. But he had those clothes on, and but then he ignored me there, because I was going to another place in heaven. I was not going into his garden. There was a white cloud there, on the right side that I have to go into. And there I meet those highest priests in heaven that have white hair and white beard. So that's not only Jesus Christ that have this white hair, because they are many. And before I knew God, before God come to my home, my mother come through that have been dead for many years, and she come to me and she said to me, when I asked her, how is it to be dead? Because I thought, are you dead? You dead? Because I didn't know God. And I was over 40 years old. I was 48. I maybe was 46, 47. And my mother come through and she said, you on earth, you think there is only one God, but we are many, she said. And that I knew in that way she told me she doesn't mean God, it's only one God, but she means that there is many under God. There is more. And I have seen 3 of these highest priests in heaven, and those have coming in a cloud, a white cloud, and they have white hair and white beard. So I know that who they are, even if I don't know their names. But that's so there is not only one with white beard and white hair. It means that they are highest priests, the highest you can talk to. That I'm talking to you is those with white hair. But God is always the highest, standing by himself in his supreme. There is no one on the side of him. He is the one. But then it can be spread, many to help him, to help us here on earth. So I think there is something else. There is someone coming here that want to talk to the man's preacher. There is someone here that's coming. I think it can be Jesus Christ, because this man have white hair and white beard. That's the highest priest from heaven. And it's only his face that is coming through. Is it something you want to say? He said, I should remind you about talking to those men that is preaching. He's told me. He's telling me that. He thought I had not spoken enough yet. And he said, you have to remind them that there is no way to go away from this life. It's not you that decide when it's time to go. You have to hold in and wait for God, because your time is not yet to come. You can't cut it off. Suicide is never an option. How hard then your life is. He say that about reach out a hand. You are too proud, he say, that you can't let other people help you. I see people lost their minds over this situation. You have to be strong, because this time is a time of test. We don't want anyone to die, he said. It's your choice, and you do wrong if you choose the wrong way. The wrong way leads you to mental issues. It's make you run away from what is important to you. You have to stand still and wait for God. You had me in your life when you were a child. But no, see, you're running away. I think he is talking about this man running that Mary talked about. I think it's the father. What she was talking about, Mary, was the father. She say father, and she mean, I think, in the church, father, the founder of churches that ran away like a rat leaving the ship. He ran away before the people that is in the church. He make his decision without asking people if they can help, because he is so proud, and proud will kill him. Proud is not us in heaven. That's something a person decide of by himself. We don't want to see anyone die. We have a limit of your life on earth, but we don't want you to die before your time. It's the advice he give you, and you should take it. The advice he give you is to go back to where you choose to walk the wrong way. You were standing on the right path, And that was when you were a child, and you wanted so much of the world, so the world took you. The world took you too far from me. It's a appointed time, he said. It is appointed time. You are on my list, and you should come back and do your lesson back over again. You should go back where you felt that you and I was one. You should go back. You should turn around to where you know the spot, the time when it come a woman in your life, and she took you away and she took you to the world and stress you about the money, give you kids, children that you have to feed, and you feed them away from me. You didn't come back to me as you were when you were a child. And you think there is no end of it. But I tell you that it's time for you to turn back to where you felt the spirit in you, that you felt that you were connected to me. You should turn back, and I will help you to build up. Build up. You don't say what it is, build up, but promise to build up. And it's not about money. He built up your life. So thank you. Thank you for telling. So it's time for me to end it here. I think it have been said what I felt it should be said today. It's not me, because I am not so much into doing this live broadcasting, but I have to obey when I hear, and it's not people go angry at we say God told me, but it's not God told me. It's about the feeling and energy that we can feel in our body and in our mind. It's not that God told me to do this. He didn't say that I should do this live broadcasting. I felt it. I felt it that like it forced me, pushed me, a feeling to do this because he wanted to talk. But he didn't say that to me. I only felt it. So that's wrong to say that, oh, God doesn't told you. No, it's it's about the same 50-50 that I hear God talking, but I also 50% that I feel it. I know it without knowing it. That's what God does. And everyone can get this if they obey from the start. Obey God. You know, He doesn't give you task, give you some mission to do if you doesn't do it the first time. Why should He do it the next time, I tell you? It's about building up trust between you and God, to build up the faith that we can do it. It's a teamwork. So I tell you that it's nothing that I got from the first day. It's had built up in 20 years this. I'm coming very high up now. I don't know how far it can go. But it was many years I stopped look at money, and it took a little while to go away from to be famous. I thought from the start that everyone wanted to hear about my experience when God came to my home and took me. But no one had been interested of it. I thought that, and maybe it's 4 or 5 years I stopped to think that the world, I'm going to travel around the world, and they're going to ask me questions, people in front of television, and everyone want to hear what God is have talking to me about, what He have done to get me into this highest mountain. But there's no one. I'm glad if one person start to understand and believe that is true what I tell you. So now I'm ended this, and this live broadcasting is for my websites, and I place it on YouTube also. So it's only that I want you to be with me when I do this video, and you know that's it. It's live. I don't cut anything on in the video, like if I have recorded it. I have not. Facebook have recorded it, but I have not recorded it. I have not cut anything. I have only spoken about what God wants me to say. It's in His will, not mine. And God loves you, and I love you too. Thank you for watching. Thank you. God bless.